So I want to begin by asking if you could talk a little bit about this guy, the accountant. Who is the accountant?
The accountant is a guy that he doesn't work in this world. He works in another world, and he's those that have to go there. The accountability of how many are there and that they all stay there is my job, and hence the accountant. And that's how he gets his name. And so when somebody leaves, like somehow Nick figured out a way, I have to go get him because you got to go back.
You got to bring him back.
You got to go back. Can't do that.
So, and I know there's a lot of fast cars in this movie. I heard you mention something about the hell car, the accountant's car. What can you tell us about that?
Well, once we have our meeting of the minds and it's time to go back, you got to get back somehow. So I figured out a way.
And you love cars, I heard. You got your own souped-up
1970 really cherry Roadrunner. So in the film here, I think we have a 70 SS Chevelle 454. There's a 440 69 Charger, which is Ms. Amber Heard's car, Piper. Yeah, great muscle cars, and throw in the 3D thing with all these crazy, grungy characters, and it's pretty wild.
Patrick mentioned films like Vantage Point and Bullet. Are those that sort of inspired him for this? Are those films that you really enjoyed and wanted to be part of something like that?
Yeah, I did enjoy those films, but I'm never one that like seeks out a particular sort of genre or something. It's all, I just read something and I love it or love the guy or whatever it is. I never really know, different things. But this in particular, when I read this, I was thrilled from the very first time I read it. I thought, wow.
Yeah. Could you talk about Patrick's vision of sort of mixing the supernatural with the cars and with the reality?
Whatever his vision is for it, that's the thing that I loved about Patrick and working with him, is that a lot of times too many thoughts on the directorial division of something. I don't really want to know what they all are, I mean, that's his thing. But I love it when a director says, I'm thinking about this at this moment. That's great. Just, I know what my piece of the puzzle is. I want to realize that as best as I can. And with Patrick on your side saying, this moment here, like that, and then so much room to go and play, really do what you want to do. And it just doesn't get any better than that. And I truly have said this 1,000 times since we finished this film, that this is right up there with this and another film are my two favorite things that I ever did in my whole life. So,
what's that film?
The Amateurs.
And what was it like working with Nick? Had you worked with him before? We couldn't remember.
First time, yeah.
What was that like for you?
Well, even though I'm a little bit older than Nick, Nick's one of those guys that's been around so long that, doing amazing, very particular, original things that only he does. So it's kind of like, everybody in this room has grown up watching Nick. So, when I read this and knew right away that he was doing it, I mean, from the very first time I read it, every word you'd think, yeah, of course that's Nick. Of course you can't get anyone else to play Milton. It has to be. And you know what? And then you get there and you show up and you start shooting it and you're like, I knew I was right. I knew I was right. Of course that's him. So awesome.